Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it's time for another orc mode workout, and today was dynamic effort squat and deadlift day. But just a quick reminder, if you guys could reach down and please click like down below, help me keep the likes higher than the dislikes, it would be greatly appreciated. Please do that, and if you haven't done it yet, you haven't been doing it, just reach down and click it. We abbreviated the volume slightly today. I felt like all the axial loading on me has just been adding up this week. I had a really good first part of the week. I actually hit some decent lifts yesterday as far as supplemental work, but I just felt my whole back, especially on the lockouts on the speed squats and everything, just the band tension and everything pulling down. And I realized I probably needed to be careful about doing much axial loading today. And I think some of it's been that I've been doing weighted carries lately. A lot of weighted carries on off days, sometimes even a little bit after training. And I need to save some recovery for that because I do need the GPP, because people ask, you do any GPP these days? Yeah, I'm not filming it. I went through that whole phase of filming GPP and everything. So anyone who doubts that I do it, they can go check the old vlogs. I showed for a while I was filming 3 GPP days every week. It's very clear that I'm no problem doing it. And I just don't feel like filming everything. It's just not necessary. You guys see my main training, you don't need to see my conditioning. Okay, it's just not necessary, because I do things in active recovery on my off days, weighted carries, really lightweight reverse hypers. But today was the heaviest day. I only did 8 doubles today on this. We're using the new box height. Felt like I got pretty good speed on these. Again, everything was good. It snapped good speed. It's just, I did feel that fatigue today, and so I only did 6 singles on the deadlift, and it felt heavier. And keeping in mind it's almost 500 pounds on the lockouts for the speed pulls, the deficit speed pulls with the bands, and just pulling against bands, pushing against bands can be a lot. So what I'm probably going to do is keep doing band work, like I said, on all the squats, and I'm just going to change bars every 3-week wave, and I'll probably alternate, because I really like the 1-inch deficit for the speed pulls. I'll alternate chains with that, and then I'll do chains for my speed benching. And I want to stick with all bands for the speed squats. I feel like I get a lot out of the bands. It's just that they can be hard to recover from on all the lifts. And at least with the speed squats, I can just rotate bars. And I'll build all 3 ends of my strength curve, as far as it pulling me forward, pulling it backwards, by using the cambered bar and the safety squat bar. But again, it was good training today. It's just that I'm also tired. I woke up a couple hours earlier than I intended. Like people might have noticed, I posted a little bit online at 2 a.m. I woke up at 2 a.m. Couldn't fall back to sleep, so went ahead and started my work day. Got a lot done today. A couple of my clients early this morning, did 4 videos. Took on a new client today, who I did an intake on, and I have to do another one this afternoon. And yes, some people have asked, wait, is it who we think it is? Is that really happening? Yeah, it appears to be. I'm going to get on video call with the person, who some of you have seen it already, and we'll discuss it. Could be an interesting situation if it comes to fruition. So it's been a busy day for me, and not quite the sleep that I wanted, so I'll get caught up this weekend. But yeah, I just woke up sooner than I expected, and I've been a little bit crampy today. So I decided to, again, play it easy, get a good training response, and we're still inside the allowed threshold, especially for band work and the heaviest wave. 8 doubles on this and 6 singles on the speed pulls against bands is within Westside's recommendations. Right? It's within their recommendations. It's within their allowable range for band work. And there's just times when I'm going to have to follow that more closely, And it's also, people pointed out that even then, technically some of my percentages, because I'm basing it on box squats, might be a little bit high. And fair enough. So we can always mess with these things and, adjust it based upon what's appropriate speeds. Because I would have liked these to be faster. But you know what? I feel like these are okay for a higher box. Even though this would be technically my heaviest week in a speed wave. It's off of this high box, and actually I felt like the speed was pretty decent. I felt like it was pretty decent. But it is hard when you hit those bands, that heavy band tension. Because for those curious, if you look, yeah, that's 130 pounds of bands. All right, that's a lot of band tension. And hitting band tension hard, like when you hit it explosively, is very difficult. You guys notice even that buffalo bar is flapping a little bit in the bounce. That bar doesn't flex. So that's just hitting the band work hard. These were, again, they felt a little heavy at the lockout today. heavier than usual, and I don't have that much weight on the bar, right? 345 bar weight, but again, that's a lot of band tension. Someone look at that saying, oh, that's not just 100 pounds. It's a lot of band tension. That it's hard, especially on the underhand grip, and that's one of the things I noticed. It was irritating that left bicep, the old injury. It was irritating it a little bit on the underhand grip on these. And I need to look at the footage. Maybe I'm having trouble locking it. And I do have trouble locking sometimes that left elbow a little bit because of that scar tissue and stuff. Because that's the one that I had to have reattached many years ago. You guys can see it right there if you notice when I pull the arm back, if you see that little line down the bicep, right? I don't know if some people saw that. I saw that there in the video. That's not a vein, that's a channel. That's where I had muscle cut out. So that was cut out in 2004. So there was a whole lot that happened there. But I do have some issues every now and then. And if I have to, I'll go to just full mixed grip the other way all the time for my speed work. I can do enough chins and curls and back work to balance it if I have to, because I do enough other work. But I do try to do some of it with it reversed, right? Doing the underhand grip on that left side just for balance purposes, even though the speed pulls are not going to, contribute that much to, some of the back and bicep hypertrophy. Still, it's not a bad idea to try to balance it, in spite of that injury. But 6 singles against this, and it was enough. Like, I've got a really good training response, and I really felt my whole upper back tremendously in my shoulder girdle. There's, again, speed pulls against bands. You definitely feel the whole T-spine area. They get worked hard. Your thoracic erectors, your traps, those just get hammered. They get hammered. And so it didn't take much today, and I felt like just my back was just so fatigued from a lot of this today that I'm like, let me skip good mornings, and I went ahead and did my glute ham raises today because I need the hamstring work. I just wasn't up to those, especially after I tried a PR this week and I failed the final set on the last rep on good mornings, and I'm switching bars next week. Like, let me just do these for hamstrings, 3 good sets of 10. And I showing myself climbing on there a little better so that people can see that I really don't have space to even put my leg, because I'm in pretty close in terms of where it is. And even when I'm at the top, you'll notice that my knee is well above the plate at the bottom of that pad. So, and my knee is pretty much hitting the top of the pad when I come down, sliding up to the top, and then it slides down a bit. So it's a pretty aggressive spot on the glute ham device, and I sound tired right now. It's because I am. The training was tough today. Not enough sleep, and I've spent a lot of time in Skype, and I've got to do more here later. Like, I've got another 2 hours of Skyping and talking I've got to do today. So I've got to save my breath for that. Again, it's just the training was pretty challenging today, and I decided just to focus on things that were not going to give me any extra axial loading. This isn't going to give me axial loading at all, and it still gave me a really good training response in my hamstrings. I felt my hamstrings light up, and just 3 triples even with body weight on this is good today, especially after the deficit speed pulls and stuff, because my hamstrings got a lot of work. In fact, I went ahead and stretched them after this because they almost got a little crampy, and I realized, well, I want to do chin-ups in a minute, so let me make sure my hamstrings don't cramp on me for when I bend my legs. But, all things considered, I think it's fair to say I've gained some muscle. A lot of people said, oh my God, I can't believe you gained 12 pounds. Oh, just not, mistrack. No, I didn't mistrack my food. I quit tracking my food. That's why I gained 12 pounds. I just stopped tracking and just ate. Same foods I was eating, just didn't count calories. I can gain a pound a week by not counting calories. That's easy for me. It doesn't mean my maintenance isn't 4,000 plus, because I'm losing weight on 3,200 fairly quickly. So I just quit counting, so I was probably eating 5,000 plus. And that's always what happens. Anytime I don't track calories, I gain weight really fast. If I just eat till I'm full, I gain weight fast. So I have to count. I'll have to count the rest of my life, or I'll be 300 pounds. I just have a bottomless pit, and I know people will say things like, oh gosh, I couldn't eat that much food. What do you, it's got to be, it's like, no man, just normal whole foods. I eat 5,000 calories without even thinking about it if I forget to track it. Just got to keep up with it, and it's that simple. And I've just always got to remember that. But I've gained muscle. I think people are noticing now as I'm slowly trimming a little bit of fluff off. then I'm definitely bigger. Definitely bigger. So I decided I haven't done any chin-ups in a while. I'm like, and I don't want to do just body weight. Let me just throw a little 10 on and see if I can get multiple sets of 10. And I did. I got 3 sets of 10. They were challenging. Sometimes I don't always lock the elbows at the bottom, and it's because of that bicep, guys. That left bicep. It sometimes bothers me. If I'm not careful with the range of motion and I get too deep of a stretch on too many reps, it will get really inflamed. And then I'm missing out on some really good exercises, and that's exactly the point. It's like that extra inch or two. Sometimes if I go too far and it puts that strain on the left bicep, it'll get inflamed. But the chin up is a great exercise. We can get really good stimulation as long as we don't hurt ourselves or get tendon problems. And a lot of people do get tendon problems from this. I just have to be careful of it and not go too heavy. Stick with volume. None of this, oh, let's do it all out max triple. Yeah, that's how you get hurt on these. And I'm not saying people can't do them to a max. Any exercise can be safely trained to a 1 rep max. Heavy triples, heavy fives, you need to be very careful what exercises you do that with. This isn't one of them I'd recommend heavy triples on. Stick with 10s. 10 rep sets. You can build plenty of muscle and strength. And then if you want to test your maxes later, you can test your max. And some of these I do lock at the bottom. And then I have one of them, this one. You guys will see me come up closer to the camera. You guys can see there's my loose skin. It's there. Lost 100 pounds of fat. And that'll disappear more as I lose more fat later. And because that's where I'm going to tend to my fat's going to tend to pool in the loose skin more. And we just accept that. But hey, at least I got calves and at least I got traps, you guys can see here. All right, all good. But we got our 3 sets of 10. They were challenging. Like, this was good work for me, even with a 10-pound plate. Considering I'm 223 right now. 3 sets of 10, pretty good. I know that I could do a single with 100 pounds if I had to. But we'll work on it. I'll work on 10 rep sets on these some. I'm going to do, obviously, a lot of the inverted rows still. But I think I'm going to have some days to where I'll mess with a few chin-ups. Because I'm doing enough upper back work, I can probably do these. I wouldn't do these as a main exercise and not do upper back work. But I'll keep doing inverted rows, shrugs, the wide grip upright rows. All that stuff needs to be done. Because pull-ups do not, and chin-ups do not hit your upper back enough. That's the big problem with them. They're not that great of an overall back exercise. They're a great lat exercise, right? They're phenomenal for lats. They don't work the entire back as effectively, but it does put you in traction, and that's a good thing. I needed a lot of traction work today, just because of the fatigue, because there's a good restoration benefit to it. And with these, I went ahead and did the same weight. I'm trying to do these strict now, just 3 sets of 10 on my main days, and I'm doing them for restoration on my off days with a much lighter weight and trying to be strict also. So this is, for people curious, it's 270, right? Just under half my max squat. Trying to do strict sets of 10. Trying to minimize that swing. You notice I'm controlling the eccentric. So I'm doing them stricter now because I went really heavy. I got up to where I was doing the 425 or sets of 25, but using momentum. And now I want to do them strict. Let's do them as a strength builder. Get a controlled eccentric in. Get a contraction. Make sure I'm squeezing the glutes and the low back at the top. And there's my back. I got a little bit of back development. I think we can all agree with that. All good though, guys. I'm going to use these now as a strength builder, and I'll worry about the restoration effect on them on the lighter days. On the lighter days. But I'm still getting traction on this, and that's good. That'll help with recovery. Alright guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.